Hello, today we're taking an early look at Ineffa, but perhaps more interestingly, a look at the new reaction Lunar Charged. I still don't know exactly what's going on with Ineffa herself in terms of lore, but she really does seem to be a straight up robot. Like, look at some of these idle animations, you know? Those eyes, they just went like dead. Then this one, boom. We'll go ahead and start with raising her and see what she needs here. All right, good old whistles and the glowing horn shroom. I think there's only been one other character that's needed these, so I kind of didn't even recognize them at first. Maybe Auroron. But yeah, so far, I mean, you could prepare in advance if you're gonna pick her up. Let's keep going though to see which world boss material she needs. The secret source airflow. Okay, we have this already as well. It is one of the newer bosses, but yeah, so okay, cool. Like, basically, you can fully prepare. Her Ascension stat is crit rate. Always like to see that, although I am quite sure she's not really a DPS. She's supposed to be more of a sub, but I mean, crit rate's always good anyway, especially depending, you know, if she can do like a good amount of off-field damage. I assume her weapon must have a lot of crit rate on it as, no, it's crit damage. How the hell does she have 76? Do we have artifacts? Okay, we do have artifacts already. Currently Gilded Dreams. Oh yeah, one thing I'm actually really curious about is if it's here. Yes, there it is. Increased damage dealt by Lunar Charged by 94%. Okay, so it is based on EM, which makes sense. I'm pretty sure all reactions are, but I am a little surprised it gets its own line. 94% currently, we have 371 EM. We might just leave her how she's built currently. Let's go ahead and max her signature weapon as well. For the majority of the showcase, we probably just will leave her C0R1. We'll keep her in her signature. You know, we'll go over alternatives for the raising mode later, but yeah, you know, very balanced stats there. 608 base, 66 crit damage. Oh man, the weapon video for this one's going to be kind of interesting because the biggest part of the passive is that all nearby party members deal 40% more lunar charge damage, which is a little specific. I suppose we should also raise talents. For characters like this, normal attack is usually not important, but sure, why not? We'll just get everything to 8. Ain't my resources anyway. The burst multiplier does look pretty high, just straight up 1000% there. As far as I gathered from the special program, she is a little bit like Fischl in that when you do her burst, her little companion from E will be resummoned basically. And outside of the fact she gives herself a shield with E, which does look pretty cool, I gotta say. We got those like Kaniche-esque pixel art brooms, I guess. That's pretty nice. I mean, she is supposed to be like a, you know, household helper robot, right? So that makes sense. Was that like a vacuum? Hold on. That's so funny. Oh, look at that. It is a vacuum. I just now noticed that. Wow, we just got really sidetracked. I was comparing her a bit to Fischl. Yeah, so like besides her shield, and of course the new Lunar Charge reaction, she does remind me quite a bit of Fischl. Maybe sort of a 5-star Fischl, which would actually be hype because Fischl is a godly 4-star. Do we have a decent amount of attack? 1900? I mean, okay. Her shield strength and, well, basically everything scales with attack, so I would assume you do need quite a lot. They have her with an EM Sands and an attack goblet. That's pretty interesting, but I guess it also makes sense. Her final passive here increases the damage of Lunar Charge for every 100 attack that she has, so that would cap out at 2000. We currently have 1939, so I mean, if we get one other attack buff anywhere, I suppose we'll be fine. The shield at first glance doesn't seem that strong, but also decent. 350 attack plus 2600 at level 8. Around 9k, you know, base HP shield. It's fine. Not the strongest shield we have, but I don't think that's like her main point, you know? She can also buff the active character's elemental mastery based on her attack 6%. I mean, decent for being a passive. At 2000 attack, that's 120 EM. For now, I just kind of want to see how this reaction works. So we're going to take, you know, an Electro Charge team, not really, but there's Hydros and Electros there. Let's try them. So we're going to, you know, just apply some Hydro real quick and then go to Ineffa and just do her E. Yep, there it is. There's Lunar Charged. Oh, they all died. I did see the text pop up though. Maybe the Ruin Guard over here is a little bit stronger. We should be able to trigger what would be Electro Charged with anyone in this team because Ineffa is here. We'll try that next. So we're just going to press E to apply Electro first. He has that cool. Still Lunar Charged. Doing like 18k, 30k. Damn, okay. I also want to know if it's a single target or AoE. Oh yeah, it can crit. That is obviously another thing. So it's almost like melt/vaporize for Electro. I mean, that's a good amount of damage for like just doing the minimum possible to trigger the reaction, but apparently the reaction takes everyone into account that took part in the reaction. So if we like do a full rotation and then look at it, you know, we could be seeing something else. I think we'll probably need Abyss for this because most other enemies are just too weak. I was told it's fine to record this, even though this is definitely a new Abyss. We have this guy, and he's definitely only in 5.8. But the first half ley line increases our lunar charge damage by 75, so it would be a little inflated, I guess. It doesn't really matter. What I'm mainly trying to see right now is if it's AoE. We're just going to take the same team. So sure, cool. We have 3 enemies here. We're just going to start with a simple little lunar charged. Oh. That is definitely AoE. All 3 of them are getting blasted, or they were. It doesn't last very long apparently, but I guess that's not going to be a problem in like a normal rotation. The cloud acts as the area of attack, I believe. Or no, it doesn't. Look, they just got lunar charged from way over there, and then the cloud changed its place. We currently just have Furina and her pets going, as well as Raiden's E here, so we basically have constant electro and hydro application. There can be multiple clouds. I didn't know about that. Okay, let's just refresh those. Gotta be a little careful because we're like, you know, dying here and stuff, but I'm surprised to see 2 clouds can exist at once. I don't know if more can. Thankfully, the lunar charge numbers look different than, you know, normal electro damage, though I'm pretty sure it is still sort of counted as electro damage, like how spread is counted as dendro damage. But all right, just for fun, we are going to try an actual rotation with this team, you know, Raiden E, Furina EQ, Ineffa EQ, and then just go to Nuvalet, I guess, our main DPS there, and start blasting. So do an E, a charge attack, and then I'm going to try and keep an eye on those lunar charge numbers. I did see like a 42k in there. What else we got? Yeah, like 42k. They are ticking actually quite a bit fast. They are ticking pretty fast. Maybe it depends on like how you're attacking. We don't really have any healers in this team, so maybe I should have thought about that, but you know, it's fine for now anyway. Still going. I still see those lunar charge numbers popping up all the time. They do pop up so fast for some reason. We don't have that much information yet, so I can't, you know, say anything with too much confidence. But yeah, just as first look at it, it does seem really interesting. Like look at all the lunar charge popping up, you know. But it seems to mostly happen when I am blasting with Nuvalet Beam, which of course applies a lot of hydro. Usually for reactions there is some kind of cooldown though, so either this one's like shorter than normal or I don't know. I guess it's possible it just looks like they're ticking so fast because, you know, there are multiple enemies. Oh wait, yeah, there's this guy. I mean, sure, I have no idea how he works, of course, but oh wait, he just transformed into 3 hats on the ground and we need to find his true form. Okay, interesting. We'll just start blasting them all, I guess. Okay, I think this is the real one, maybe? I can't keep track of it in between all the burst animations, though, to be honest. Okay, we do have a single target here now, though, so... No, I mean, maybe it really was just the multiple enemies making it look like it was ticking so fast. Because, I don't know, actually. It still looks like there are sometimes, like, double ticks happening. Because I guess there can be 2 clouds? I just realized something else. Ineffa has a passive that counts some kind of coordinated attack as also lunar damage. I'm not sure if it would actually pop up as lunar damage though, so it would be pretty cool to figure that out probably. I mean, unlike some of the other recent characters, there aren't any restrictions, like you don't have to be in a pure Hydro Electro team, though if we're trying to go for lunar charge specifically, throwing other elements like pyro or cryo or whatever would probably be a bad idea. My only concern is Furina might not be enough hydro application, but it's a brand new reaction, so we got to experiment a bit. But yeah, let's give this a try here. So we're just going to kind of do the rotation how I see fit, basically. I'm just kind of hoping, I'm not sure if Cinder City went to Electro, to be honest, but whoops. Okay, did I forget how she works? Lol. Oh wait, yeah, this one says C0, so I'm used to C2 and I think it is a bit different. I'm gonna at least get the units I usually use to their, you know, typical constellation, just because that's what I'm used to, which is C4 Furina, C2 Zealonin, and C2 Verissa. We will keep Ineffa at C0 for now. So do they have Electro on them? They have Electro and Hydro. I think that's fine. Okay, here we go with Verissa now. I'm really trying to still keep an eye on like the lunar charge numbers. I mean, yeah, I do see them actually popping up still, like a lot. So we definitely have to do Zealonin's burst as well. Else we're going to stay at, you know, half HP. Let's try the next floor here. We don't have energy for Ineffa's burst, so we're just going to skip it this rotation. We'll go ahead and do that though. And then back to Verissa. Yeah, like the lunar charge just starts going like immediately, dude. I'm still trying to figure out kind of what it really scales with, because it is like a separate entity, sort of that cloud up there, you know, unlike Vaporize or Melt, it's not based on the character actually triggering it, I guess. I think it is this one because his like shield over there is taking damage, so we'll just spam him for a bit. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, I mean, like the Lunar Charge is doing like pretty consistent damage though. You know, 50 to 60k, I suppose, when it crits. But I think its crit chances, what is it based on? It must be pretty high because I hardly ever see any that don't critical, you know? I'm just guessing it's based on the crit rate of whoever, you know, triggers it. We'll have Candace with as little crit rate as possible and she'll be the one to trigger it. Currently has 26. We got to pump those numbers down. I'm just going to remove her artifacts. Okay, 5%, that's fine. All right, we got a Ruin Guard here. Very simply, we're just going to apply Electro to him. So cool. And then we'll have Candace trigger the actual Lunar Charged. That criticaled. Okay, they're actually all criticaling. 27. So that can't be based on Candace's crit rate. For sure not. Maybe it's based on both of them? I guess it's possible it all just kind of relies on Ineffa. She is technically the one creating Lunar Charged. We'll try again here, but I'm pretty sure it's just straight up based on Ineffa at this point. Like, you know, if we continually try and trigger Lunar Charge, like we can see most of them are in fact criticaling. And that definitely wouldn't be the case with our 5 crit rate Candace. To confirm that hypothesis, we're just going to give her as little crit rate as possible and see if that changes. Because she gets crit rate on Ascension, we can't completely remove it, but 24% should tell us enough. Yeah, okay, we're definitely seeing a lot more non-criticals now. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter then who triggers the reaction in as far as like criticals are concerned. Yeah, so the numbers are kind of popping up way up there now, which is a little annoying. But I would like to give Candace 100% crit rate and see if they start criticaling again, because the reaction does say it takes, you know, all characters involved in the reaction stats into consideration. If that includes crit rate, we're about to find out. Okay, Candace has over 100% crit rate. If it never doesn't critical, then yeah, it's just based on Ineffa. All right, just to be on the safe side, we will trigger it with Candace as well. I mean, that was a critical. Wait. Could it be? That was also a critical. Oh my god, wait, does it just take whoever has the highest crit rate then? Could that be? I'm only seeing criticals. I will do it a couple more times because that would be, honestly, that would seem weird if that's really true. That was a critical. Okay, wait, they're all criticals. They're all criticals. 10707. That was critical. Oh, wow. I don't believe I've seen a non-critical Lunar Charge. Does that mean it just actually combines all stats from the characters involved? Don't hold me liable for anything I'm saying, by the way. Like, I'm actually just experimenting here. There are basically no official sources about this yet, so I'm kind of guessing and, you know, going based off my own little experiments here, but that's what I can see. It's very possible I'm just missing something though, because outside of Vaporize and Melt, nothing else can crit unless you have C2 Nahida, but even then it's very clear that it has a crit rate of 20%. Because I could not spot a non-critical with a 100 crit rate Candace, you know, being part of the reaction, I'm just assuming right now it basically combines the stats. Crit rate, crit damage, EM, attack, just kind of everything goes into the thundercloud up there, and then that thundercloud almost acts as a separate unit that has the combined stats, which then attacks every couple of seconds. So we've built her normally again, or at least how she was built at the beginning. And what I want to try now is actually just removing Candace. She's probably not the best example unit for this anyway. Sure, let's use Nuvolette. My goal to see is how the reaction damage changes just based on Nuvolette's crit damage. So let's see here. We got a 28,000, 19,000. Yeah, 19.8. Pretty consistent-ish number there. 24, 28. 24, 28. Now we'll just give him Tome back, which has a bunch of crit damage on it. It also gives him more attack, I suppose, which I think is what the reaction also scales with. Attack? Nuvolette's an HP scaler, so let's not think too hard. Let's just see what happens. 26. Okay, that really doesn't seem that much higher, honestly. 28, maybe a little bit. 25. I mean, it's a reaction, so EM at least must do something. We're gonna give him triple EM and see if that impacts the damage. Okay, our Nuvolette now has 744 EM. I mean, it has to, right? It's even in the like Elemental Mastery page that it will increase the damage. Okay, I guess it is maybe a little different. Probably that 20. Oh wait, well wait, there was a 34k. Interesting. When Electro meets Hydro and certain other conditions are met, like having Ineffa in your team I guess, a special Lunar Charge reaction occurs and a Thundercloud forms. This damage can trigger crit hits, and the damage dealt is based on all characters who have applied elements during the reaction. That was pretty much all the information we already had. I mean, sure, let's try. We're just going to plant her things on the ground I guess, so she's like kind of always attacking. Yelan with her burst, so she's always attacking. Ineffa of course, and just like Nuvolette, and we'll see if like we can spot that the damage is, you know, different. It's really not much different, if anything. It's like maybe a little higher, but no drastic jumps. So I don't know. I'm gonna stop it there. We'll look into it more when it's actually here. I just feel like I'm getting further and further away from figuring anything out, so yeah. I mean, this is the passive talent that allows Lunar Charge to exist. It's just upgraded Electro Charged, but it does have different mechanics because it can crit, and it said it takes all characters into consideration that were part of the... I just don't know what that actually means. I will take a look at our constellations. Maybe it unveils something important. C1 is basically a buff for the Lunar Charge damage increase passive based on her attack from up to 14% to 64%. Sounds like a huge jump, but doesn't give us more information. The rest of our constellations didn't really give any hints about, you know, the more intricate workings of Lunar Charged, but I'll wait to give constellation thoughts for when she's actually here. All I can somewhat confidently say is that the chance for Lunar Charge to crit isn't solely based on Ineffa's crit rate, because you know, with Candace in the team, we were criticling what all the time when she had 25% crit rate, and mathematically that just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, overall, she is an interesting character. Obviously, implications that more stuff like this will be coming with, you know, 6.0 and beyond, Nod Cry and all that. Again, outside of her bringing Lunar Charge to the table, her kit does seem somewhat, you know, basic-ish. I feel like Ineffa was kind of the character to introduce this sort of new reaction sort of mechanic. Of course, if she ends up being the only one that can do Lunar Charge, like you have to have her in your team to do Lunar Charged, I would consider that a part of her kit, really, and it becomes way less basic, obviously. You know, it's at least upgraded Electro Charged, if not better. But yeah, let me know what you think about her in the comments down below, or any other thoughts you may have. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.